Ah, the good old days, when smoking was a symbol of sophistication and rebellion. During the golden age of cinema, cigarettes were more than just props. They were Hollywood's dirty little secret. Hollywood's influence extended beyond the screen as the stars unknowingly glorified this dangerous habit, both on and off camera. But who were these A-listers that couldn't resist smoking? Well, here are the 10 worst smokers in Hollywood history. Number 10. Bette Davis. Bette Davis, known as the Queen of the Warner Lot, had a heavy smoking habit that aged her significantly. Despite this, she lived to the age of 81. Bette holds the record for being the first actor to receive 5 consecutive Oscar nominations for acting, winning 2, just like her friend Olivia. While some argue that Humphrey Bogart made smoking look cool on screen, others believe that Bette Davis deserves that title. During a roast of Davis, actor Henry Fonda humorously remarked that he had been close to her for 38 years and had the cigarette burns to prove it. Surprisingly, Bette only smoked in about a quarter of her movies and was never a spokesperson for any cigarette brand. However, throughout her career, she became closely associated with smoking on screen. This was because Bette believed in portraying realism in her films. When her characters were smokers, she insisted on accurately depicting their habits by having lit cigarettes in her hands throughout the entire movie, mimicking the behavior of real-life smokers. Bette Davis not only smoked heavily on screen, but also off-screen. Cigarette smoking played important roles in some of her movies and helped her create memorable characters. She had a strong addiction, smoking around 4 packs of Vanguard cigarettes per day. Davis claimed she couldn't go more than 10 minutes without lighting up a cigarette, which explains why she is often seen holding one in interviews. Even her dentist couldn't deter her from smoking, as she would smoke in the waiting room and even in the dental chair. Despite her excessive smoking, Davis surprisingly managed to live a long life without being affected by smoking-related diseases. She eventually passed away from breast cancer, but it is reported that she continued smoking around 100 cigarettes daily until her death. Number 9. Humphrey Bogart. Let's dive into the intriguing story of Humphrey Bogart, who was not only influential in making smoking look cool on screen, but also experienced the devastating consequences of his habit. In his private life, Bogart smoked 2 packs of cigarettes daily and was known to be a heavy drinker. He was constantly coughing due to the effects of smoking, and his tiredness and memory loss from excessive drinking were evident. Interestingly, Bogart's on-screen relationship with cigarettes had a fascinating origin. In the early days of filmmaking, screenplays contained fewer physical directions and often consisted of long monologues. During a shoot, he expressed his boredom to the director and jokingly suggested that the scene would only be interesting if there were 2 camels engaging in a rather scandalous act in the background. Although the director didn't entertain that idea, he proposed that Bogart incorporate smoking into the scene. The clever suggestion served 2 purposes. First, it provided Bogart with an action to break up the monotony of the monologue, adding depth to his performance. Second, the act of smoking captivated the audience's attention as they focused on Bogart's face during each drag, keeping them engaged in the scene. As a result, Bogart started smoking in every film, creating a strong association between his cool and detached characters and cigarettes. Bogart's on-screen persona was so iconic that cigarettes became popularly known as bogies, as a slang term. Unfortunately, his smoking not only influenced millions of other people to try it themselves, thinking it was cool, but it also led to his untimely demise. Bogart put off seeking medical attention for his cough and other health issues until 1956, when he finally visited a doctor. It was then revealed that he had developed esophageal cancer as a direct result of his long-standing smoking habit. Thus, his remarkable career was tragically cut short due to the very habit he had made synonymous with coolness. Number 8. Errol Flynn. In the late 1930s, Errol Flynn was a highly successful actor, starring in popular films such as The Charge of the Light Brigade, The Adventures of Robin Hood, and The Private Lives of Elizabeth and Essex. He shared a house with David Niven, which they nicknamed Cirrhosis by the Sea, where they hosted wild parties and had a great time. Although Niven once remarked that Flynn would always disappoint you, he later praised Flynn's drinking abilities and mentioned how Flynn and John Huston would engage in bare-knuckle boxing at dull parties for entertainment. Flynn had a reputation for consuming alcohol excessively, and even devised a clever plan of injecting vodka into oranges to bring onto movie sets where alcohol was prohibited. He also struggled with an addiction to opium, which, along with his indulgent lifestyle, began to affect his appearance. Flynn was also involved in scandals that the movie studio tried to cover up. He had a notorious reputation for his romantic relationships and was rumored to have an exceptionally large phallus. There are tales of him playing the piano with it at parties, but this didn't bring lasting happiness to him or others. Despite being married 3 times, Flynn never found true happiness and had a troubling attraction to much younger women. In 1942, he faced allegations of statutory rape involving 2 teenage girls. Although he was acquitted with the support of Warner Brothers' legal team, not everyone believed in his innocence, and his career never fully recovered. In the late 1940s, Flynn's health began to deteriorate due to excessive drinking, drug use, and smoking. Although he experienced a brief resurgence in the 1950s, portraying drunken characters in films, his body couldn't withstand the years of abuse. Tragically, at the age of only 50, Errol Flynn suffered a devastating heart attack while staying at Dr. Grant Gould's apartment in Vancouver, Canada. He had traveled there with the intention of selling his beloved yacht, the Zaka, to his old friend George Caldo. The yacht held immense sentimental value to him, but financial struggles compelled him to part ways with it. In fact, Flynn had primarily resided on the yacht during his final years. The autopsy results were shocking, revealing that Flynn's body appeared to belong to a 75-year-old man. His liver was severely damaged, indicating that he likely had a mere 9 to 12 months left to live. This grim revelation underscored the toll that his excessive lifestyle had taken on his health. Number 7. Sammy Davis Jr. The Rat Pack was famous for their cool image, which included indulging in vices like drinking, womanizing, and smoking. However, recent revelations have shown that much of it was an act. During their performances, artists like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. would pretend to drink whiskey by sipping apple juice. Contrary to popular belief, they were often the ones being pursued by women rather than actively chasing after them. While smoking was one aspect they couldn't fake, Sammy Davis Jr. was particularly known for his smoking habit. He would even smoke on stage, which was risky for anyone's health, but especially harmful for a singer. One of his signature moves involved taking a puff during a song and exhaling the smoke as he sang the next note. Although this may have looked cool, it had negative consequences for his well-being. Nat King Cole once warned Sammy about the damage his constant smoking could cause, explaining how the intense heat from the cigarette smoke was harming his vocal cords. Unfortunately, Sammy didn't pay much attention to the advice. In the 1980s, when he was experiencing vocal issues, his manager took him to see a throat specialist who confirmed that Nat King Cole was right. Singing while smoking had caused inflamed nodules on Sammy's vocal cords. Number 6. Rod Serling. Rod Serling, the mastermind behind the iconic TV series The Twilight Zone, was hailed as a creative genius in Hollywood. Despite his tremendous success, both as an artist and a cultural sensation, he never truly found contentment within himself. Plagued by self-doubt, he turned to various vices, including heavy drinking and smoking, which intensified after The Twilight Zone concluded. Scared of failing to replicate the triumph of his masterpiece, Serling drowned his worries in copious amounts of alcohol and consumed 4 packs of cigarettes each day. As he struggled to make a successful comeback, he found himself drifting from one project to another, and occasionally taking on acting roles. However, internally, Serling was a wreck. He was tormented by doubt and self-loathing, resorting to alcohol and cigarettes as self-medication. In 1975, he had to undergo bypass surgery due to a clogged artery, a consequence of years of mistreating his body. Tragically, during the operation, Serling's heart gave out, unable to withstand the strain. He passed away at the age of 50. His heart, ravaged by the years of self-inflicted damage, simply couldn't endure the demanding procedure. Number 5. Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason skyrocketed to fame as the unforgettable Ralph Cramden in The Honeymooners, imprinting his larger-than-life presence onto the hearts of audiences nationwide. His colossal frame and outrageously hilarious persona consumed the screen, capturing the adoration of fans everywhere. Yet behind the scenes, Gleason's larger-than-life antics didn't stop. He possessed a voracious appetite that matched his immense stature. Weighing in between 230 and 330 pounds, he perpetually danced between these two extremes. Gleason's insatiable hunger led him to indulge in multiple meals in a single setting, with a grand finale of devouring a gallon of ice cream, leaving onlookers astounded. However, it wasn't only his eating habits that contributed to Gleason's unhealthy lifestyle. He had a profound fondness for the bottle, guzzling down whiskey as if it were mere water. A scotch on the rocks was his, quote, cream bun on ice, and he rarely found himself sober. According to this vice, he was a chain smoker, effortlessly burning through 5 packs of cigarettes daily. His size and these detrimental habits made mobility a considerable challenge for Gleason. Sadly, his indulgent lifestyle even took a toll on his libido. Gleason wittily remarked, quote, sex for a fat man is much ado about puffing, emphasizing how his excessive habits impacted every aspect of his life. Tragically, Gleason persisted with his unhealthy ways until he succumbed to colon cancer at the age of 71, leaving behind a legacy of laughter and a cautionary tale of excess. Number 4. Yul Brynner. This video is brimming with unapologetic smokers who reveled in their habit, but one figure stood out with a different tale: the iconic actor Yul Brynner. Known for his commanding presence both on the silver screen and the illustrious Broadway stage, Brynner had a dark secret. He consumed a staggering 5 packs of cigarettes each day. Unfortunately, the consequences of this vice eventually caught up with him. Tragically, Brynner lost his life to lung cancer, a direct result of his long-standing smoking habit. Yet, before his passing, he embarked on a poignant endeavor, filming a commercial for the American Cancer Society. In that eerie advertisement, his voice raspy and frail, he implored viewers not to follow in his footsteps. Remarkably, he even acknowledged that the commercial would air posthumously, emphasizing the urgency of his plea. As the camera fixed on him, Brynner's eyes pierced through the screen, and with a haunting intensity he uttered, quote, now that I'm gone, don't smoke. Whatever you do, just don't smoke. This gripping footage was extracted from his appearance on Good Morning America, where he responded to a question about what he would convey to fellow smokers if he had the chance to speak to them from beyond the grave. This campaign proved to be both chilling and impactful, as Brynner transformed from a towering figure of health to a mere shadow consumed by the ravages of lung cancer. His addiction bore the weight of the blame for this tragic decline, leaving behind a somber reminder of the perils of such a destructive habit. Number 3. Clark Gable. In the golden era of Hollywood, Clark Gable reigned supreme as an iconic American actor, earning the illustrious title of, quote, the King of Hollywood. His meteoric rise to fame was propelled by his unforgettable portrayal of Rhett Butler in the timeless 1939 epic Gone with the Wind, where he shared the screen with the captivating Vivien Leigh. Gable's talent garnered him 3 Academy Award nominations, including his victorious performance in It Happened One Night. His final film, The Misfits, etched itself into the annals of cinema as a testament to his remarkable career. However, Gable's journey extended beyond the silver screen. In 1942, with his fame at its zenith, he made a remarkable decision that took him far from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Joining the U.S. Air Force, Gable, donning the rank of captain, embarked on an extraordinary adventure. Leading a 6-man motion picture unit, he trained and flew alongside the 351st Heavy Bomb Group, capturing their exploits in a gunnery training film. His wartime odyssey unfolded predominantly in the United Kingdom, stationed at Wetherby and Polbrook. While stationed at RAF Polbrook, Gable's audacity soared to new heights. The renowned actor, driven by an unyielding spirit, flew on 5 combat missions, including a daring excursion to Germany, serving as an observer gunner aboard B-17 Flying Fortresses. For his courageous contributions, Gable earned the Distinguished Air Medal and the coveted Distinguished Flying Cross, evoking the admiration of none other than Adolf Hitler himself. The deranged dictator held Gable in higher esteem than any other actor, offering a substantial reward for his capture, unharmed and delivered into his clutches. When his time in the Army Air Forces concluded, Gable emerged as a major, leaving behind a legacy of valor. Tragically, the curtain fell on Gable's extraordinary life in Los Angeles on November 16, 1960, succumbing to his 4th heart attack. His health had been ravaged by decades of indulging in his vices. Gable's love affair was smoking, a relentless habit that included 3 packs of unfiltered cigarettes daily for over 30 years, as well as cigars and copious bowls of pipe tobacco, had taken its toll. His final resting place is at the serene Forest Lawn Memorial Park Cemetery in Glendale, California, where his legend continues to inspire generations to come. Number 2. Spencer Tracy. Trapped in the clutches of vices that ravaged his adult life, Spencer Tracy found himself entangled in a web of alcoholism, chain-smoking cigarettes, reliance on pills, and the burden of excess weight. As he reached his 60s, the consequences of his indulgences caught up with him, leaving him teetering on the precipice of poor health. The turning point arrived like a thunderclap on the fateful July 21, 1963, when Tracy was rushed to the hospital, his body suffocating under the weight of a severe breathlessness attack. The writing on the wall had become starkly clear. His declining health had reached a critical juncture, signaling the onset of his most arduous season yet. Then, in July 1965, another devastating blow struck as Tracy received a grave diagnosis: hypertensive heart disease. This affliction cast a foreboding shadow over his existence, a constant reminder of the fragility of his mortality. The ensuing year tested Tracy's resilience to the core, as he faced close calls and brushes with the edge of life itself. With his health deteriorating rapidly, Tracy became a prisoner in his own home, confined to the sanctuary of familiar walls. It was during this trying period that his unwavering love for Katharine Hepburn became his lifeline. As Tracy's days turned into a delicate dance with mortality, his spirit persevered, finding refuge in the presence of the woman who stood by his side until the end. Their extraordinary connection served as a testament to the power of love and companionship in the face of life's harshest challenges. Number 1. John Wayne. John Wayne, known for his iconic roles in over 170 films, including 142 westerns, dominated Hollywood as one of the highest-paid actors for more than 4 decades. Standing at an impressive 6'4" and weighing 225 pounds, his imposing stature and combative demeanor made him the perfect fit for cowboy, lawman, soldier, and athlete characters. However, despite his remarkable success, Wayne led a lifestyle that promoted cancer. Throughout his life, John Wayne battled weight issues, lacked physical fitness, and indulged in vices that harmed his health. From his high school years, he became a chain smoker and continued the habit, consuming cigarettes from morning till night. He also struggled with heavy alcohol consumption, often turning into an unpleasant personality as the day progressed. In fact, during the production of his later movies, studio directors aimed to complete filming before noon to mitigate the negative effects of alcohol on Wayne's behavior. Beyond his performances, John Wayne actively participated in endorsing products, featuring in magazine advertisements and television commercials for Camel cigarettes. During the 1950s, he even escalated his smoking habit to an astonishing 7 packs of unfiltered Camels each day. Unfortunately, Wayne's excessive smoking took a severe toll on his health. In 1964, he underwent surgery to remove most of his left lung due to the detrimental effects of tobacco. Regrettably, 15 years later, complications from stomach cancer claimed his life at the age of 72. And there you have it, folks. The 10 worst smokers in Hollywood history. While the allure of Hollywood may have glamorized smoking, it's crucial to acknowledge the health risks associated with this habit. But as we've seen, not all Hollywood stars succumbed to the smoke. Some fought back, conquering their addiction and inspiring others as well. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.